Before Philadelphia, no respect, no ring, no household name. And the moment things got hard, he went to Twitter.
They said I was a diva. They said all I care about was stats.
April 28th, 2022, NFL Draft Night. The Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock at pick number 18. And then Howie Roseman does something that no one saw coming.
The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 18th pick to the Tennessee Titans.
He trades that pick to Tennessee. And in return, the Philadelphia Eagles get A.J. Brown. Now let me put that in perspective for you real quick. Before that night, before that trade, most casual NFL fans had no idea who A.J. Brown was. He'd been in Tennessee for 3 years. 3 years of putting up big numbers with a bad quarterback on a team that couldn't stay healthy, a team that couldn't get out of his own way, and a team who only managed to make it to the playoffs one time. Just think about that. 185 catches, nearly 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns in 3 seasons, and basically invisible to the national conversation. And you know why? Because Tennessee wasn't relevant. The offense wasn't explosive, and the quarterback situation was a real mess. A.J. Brown was good, real good, but nobody was giving him his flowers. So when the Titans told him what they were willing to pay him, $16 million a year, with incentives to maybe hit 20, of course he'd say no.
My agent called me, he was like, hey, like Philly finna try to like really push for you. They trying to push for you, whatever. I'm like, all right. I'm like, but you know what I want to do. I'm telling him, like, you know what I want to do.
Yeah.
I get another phone call from my agent. He like, this is happening. So I'm like, what you mean? Like Titans on board? And he was like, yeah, they on board. He was like, what you want to do? I'm like, bro, ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gave everything I had, play, hurt, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he get on the phone, he give me the numbers. He like, bro, what you want to do? And I was like, bro, you know, I want to be in Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, AJ, I'm like, Tennessee not moving. Like, they not even budging. But that's when, like, my feelings got involved with all this shit. I'm like, shit, fuck it, let's do it.
And Tennessee, instead of stepping up, decided they'd rather draft someone cheaper. They took Treylon Burks at 18, a guy people literally compared to A.J. Brown. But the replacement for A.J. Brown was a worse version than what they currently saw. Burks played 27 games in 3 seasons, 53 catches, 699 yards, with only 1 touchdown. And Tennessee GM later went on a record saying he wished he could take the whole trade back. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles got the real thing and locked him up immediately. 4 years, $100 million, with $57 million guaranteed. They did this the same night as the trade. That's Howie Roseman doing what Howie Roseman does. And when I first saw that we got A.J. Brown during that trade, I was super excited. I watched A.J. Brown during his time at Ole Miss, and I knew what he was capable of. I knew that was exactly what we needed to get over the hump. And the moment A.J. Brown finally put on midnight green, something finally shifted. Not just for him, but for the whole offense. Before A.J. Brown got here, Jalen Hurts was still developing. The Eagles were a good team, but opposing defenses could game plan around them. You could shade coverage towards Devontae Smith. You could load the box against the run. You could just sit back and take your chances. The second that A.J. Brown walked through that door, that math was gone. And now you got a 6'1", 226-pound receiver who runs like a man half that size, catches like he has glue in his hands, and breaks tackles after the catch like a running back. You can't double him and take away Smitty. You have to pick your poison. Week 1 of the 2022 NFL season. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the Detroit Lions. His first game as an Eagle. 10 catches, 155 yards. He set the franchise record for receiving yards in a player's debut. And that's during his first game. The city went crazy. And we should have known, right then and there, exactly what we had. He said it himself after the trade. I outgrew that situation at Tennessee. I'm glad this happened because I felt like I was meant to shine. Philadelphia was his stage, and he was absolutely right. That 2022 season was something else. A.J. Brown finished with 88 catches, 1,496 yards, and 11 touchdowns. The most receiving yards in a single season in Eagles franchise history. He broke a 38-year record that stood since Mike Quick in 1983. First year, new team, new quarterback, broke the franchise record. And it wasn't just about the numbers, it was how he was doing it. Deep balls, contested catches in traffic, breaking tackles, converting on third down when the game was on the line. The Eagles that year finished top 3 in points and top 3 in yards per game. They had something that had never happened in franchise history. 2 receivers over 1,000 yards in the same season, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. That offense was a machine. But then 2023 came, and AJ Brown took it somewhere different entirely. 6 consecutive games of 125 yards or more receiving. That had never been done before in NFL history. Not by Randy Moss, not by Terrell Owens. Calvin Johnson, Megatron, the Hall of Famer, had only done 5 games in a row. AJ Brown did 6. Darius Slay, who actually played with Calvin Johnson during his time in Detroit, said it best. He has some of the strongest hands I've played against in the league. He attacks the ball just like Calvin used to. It's mind-blowing that I'm seeing someone else do the same thing. When a Hall of Famer's own teammate is comparing you to that same Hall of Famer, you know you're doing something right. He finished 2023 with 106 catches, the most receptions by any wide receiver in Eagles history. Back-to-back historic seasons. The 2 best receiving seasons in franchise history. Both by the same guy in his first 2 years. Watching AJ Brown through that stretch was a work of art. He never dropped, he never got outplayed, and it was almost a definite every single time. He was a human cheat code. Now let's talk about what Philadelphia gave AJ Brown that Tennessee never could. January 2023. AJ Brown wins his first playoff game. 3 years in Tennessee, and he never sniffed a win in the postseason. Not ever. Then he gets to Philadelphia. Year 1, and the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. The Eagles are set up to play Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. He catches 6 passes for 96 yards and has a touchdown. The Eagles put up 35 points and 427 yards of total offense. They lost 38-35 on a call that still makes Eagles fans sick to their stomach. But AJ Brown was on that stage. For the first time in his career, he was playing football in February, and Philadelphia got him there. Then 2024 comes around. Kellen Moore takes over as the offensive coordinator. The offense is elite. Saquon Barkley is historic. And the Eagles go back to the Super Bowl. And it's a rematch. The Eagles are set to play, once again, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Eagles put belt to ass and win 40-22. AJ Brown catches a touchdown, cements his legacy, and finally gets his ring. His first championship in an Eagles uniform. Without this city, without this team, without Howie Roseman making a move on draft night, AJ Brown never plays in a Super Bowl. He never wins a ring. He never gets that moment. Philadelphia gave him all of that. Part of what made Eagles fans fall in love with AJ Brown wasn't just the production. It was him himself. The sideline celebrations, the emotional reactions after big catches, the fire you could see from nosebleed seats. He made Jalen Hurts the godfather of his daughter. These two had a bond that went back before either of them were in the NFL. They weren't just teammates, they were brothers. When AJ Brown was locked in, the whole stadium felt it. The energy, the presence. That's part of what made the 2022 and 2023 Eagles so fun to watch. But that same emotional intensity, that same fire, it's a double-edged sword. When things are going good, that fire is electric. When things are going bad, that same fire can burn everything down. And that's exactly what happened. Now here's where I have to be honest, because I think both sides played a role in how this thing fell apart. After the 2022 Super Bowl run, Shane Steichen, the offensive coordinator who built the system, who understood how to use Brown, who helped Hurts take the next step, he left. He took the Indianapolis Colts head coaching job. So what did the Eagles do? They promoted Brian Johnson, a quarterback coach. First time calling plays in the NFL. Hurts threw 15 interceptions that year. The offense stalled, and the Philadelphia Eagles lost in the divisional round. Johnson was fired after 1 season. Then they brought in Kellen Moore in 2024. Moore was excellent. As stated before, that year, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Then with the success of winning the Super Bowl, Moore left to become the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. So for the 2025 season, they promoted Kevin Patullo. And once again, it all fell apart. Now heading into 2026, they've hired Sean Mannion. 5 offensive coordinators in 5 years. And here's the thing that no one's saying out loud. Every single time the offense found its rhythm. Every single time AJ Brown was finally in a system that used him correctly. That system was gone the next year. You can't build consistency for your best players when the play calling identity resets every 12 months. All of that falls on the organization. That's a real failure to your players. And I think that it contributed to what happened next. Because when 2025 came around and Patullo's offense was still struggling, highest rate of 3 and outs in the entire NFL, AJ Brown had no foundation to lean on. So again, new coordinator, new system, new rules, all over again. Only this time, he snapped. And I get it. I understand. When you're used to excellence, mediocrity just won't cut it anymore. Just last year he was in a Super Bowl, and now he's in an offense that can't seem to get out of its own way. Week 1 of the 2025 season. The Eagles play the Dallas Cowboys. AJ Brown has 1 catch for 8 yards. Week 2, the Eagles play the Kansas City Chiefs. AJ Brown has 5 catches for 27 yards. And I know it's frustrating when you're the franchise wide receiver and you're not getting the looks that you deserve. But instead of keeping it internal, instead of going to the coaches, instead of going to Jalen Hurts, he posted a Bible verse, Mark chapter 6, verse 11. If you're not welcome, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene. Then he went to Instagram, using me, but not using me. Nobody had to guess what that meant. Then a Twitch live stream surfaced. He's allegedly on there playing Madden. And when someone asked him, is everything good? And his response was, it's been a real shit show.
I'm saying mental good, kids good, you know what I'm saying? Wife good, everything?
Yep. I mean, no.
I mean, yeah,
Where have you been?
No, check up. You my dog. Like, I still got, you know what I'm saying? I gotta check up, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like family good, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else, no.
Man, everything gonna click, bro. Chat, look. Everything gonna click, bro. Trust me.
Shit show. How you been? I've been, struggling, brother.
You might get 200, and I ain't even trolling.
Hey. If you got me on fantasy, man, get rid of me.
That video went viral. Then The Athletic drops a report that AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, 2 guys that were so close, 2 guys that were brothers, had grown distant. A teammate described their relationship as functional and professional. Those are words you use for a coworker that you pass in the hallway, not towards your brother, and definitely not towards your best friend. And while this all continues to play out publicly, the offense is still struggling. The team keeps losing games that it shouldn't, and AJ Brown keeps finding new ways to let everyone know that he's not happy. Nick Sirianni told reporters he was close to being done answering questions about this situation.
I'm close to being done answering these questions with this. Like, he's working hard. He is a big part of this game plan.
After the trade deadline passed, Browns played the Packers. 2 catches, 13 yards. The fire that used to light up the stadium was now pointed in the wrong direction. Despite all the ups and downs, the Philadelphia Eagles still managed to make the playoffs. They hosted the wild card game against the San Francisco 49ers. The Eagles had home field. They had the talent. They had every reason to win that game. AJ Brown had 3 catches for 25 yards. There's a moment in the second half. The ball is in the air. AJ Brown is wide open, and he drops the ball. Clean, simple, and right in his hands. He drops it. He finished the game as the only wide receiver in NFL history to drop 3 passes in a single playoff game in the last 5 years. The Eagles go on to lose 23-19. After the game, Brown refused to speak to the media. That was the moment. Right there. You could feel the relationship ending in real time. You think after a season like that, after the balls dropped, after the social media shots, after the sideline blow up, that AJ Brown would just lay low. And he did the complete opposite. He goes on Michael Parsons' podcast and tells him that Philadelphia is home and that he loves it here.
When I got to Philly, man, Philly welcomed me with open arms. You know, that's home, man, and I love them. You know, I love the support. I love the accountability. I love everything else that they do. It just, Philly is Philly. You have to be there to understand. You from there, so you understand.
But then he goes on Julian Edelman's podcast. He's asked about the New England Patriots, and AJ Brown winks.
And just remember, we're all Patriots. You know that, right?
Are you going to be a Patriot? Are you going to be a Patriot?
Feeding the narrative on a trade to the New England Patriots while still under contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. A wink that said more than any amount of words could. Then later, someone asked him about his favorite moment in football. Not his favorite Eagles moment. His favorite football moment of all time. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He won 1. He set NFL records. His name is in the franchise record book twice. But his answer belongs to the New England Patriots.
A game that I'll never forget is Super Bowl against the New England Patriots and New York Giants. And growing up was a big Patriots fan, and the helmet catch just sealed the game, and I cried all night.
Not the 40-22 blowout in New Orleans. Not the 6 straight games with 125 receiving yards. Not torching the Detroit Lions in Week 1 as an Eagle. His favorite moment belonged to the Patriots, a team he never played for. He never shut down the rumors either. No statement, no denial. Not one single word. Just winks, podcast appearances, and Bible verses, while everyone else had to connect the dots. And then the Diana Russini situation happens. Russini of The Athletic has spent the entire 2025 season pushing A.J. Brown to New England reports, driving the narrative that A.J. Brown was miserable, the relationship was broken, and that a trade was on the way. Then photos surfaced of her and the Patriots head coach, Mike Vrabel, together at a resort in Sedona, Arizona. Mike Vrabel coached A.J. Brown during his time in Tennessee. He knew him, he kept in contact with him, and he wanted him on his team. And the reporter, who was spending a whole season pointing Brown towards New England, had a personal relationship with Vrabel the entire time. When all this became public, Russini resigned from The Athletic. Tampering allegations got raised, but the NFL said that they wouldn't investigate it. And that very situation made myself and every other Eagles fan sick, because you have a head coach of another organization and someone who's well known in the media working to push a narrative to, one, have a player removed from his current organization and traded to another organization, while also lowering his trade value.
I think people think that you report on the Eagles to create the drama when sometimes it's actually happening. I have a feeling it's going to resolve itself by AJ no longer being in Philly. You know, it's funny, I was poking around on it before the trade deadline, just in case they did it.
Yeah.
I think they get a second rounder.
A second rounder?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they get a second rounder.
There's a clear case of conflict of interest. There's a clear case of tampering. And once again, the New England Patriots get a slap on the wrist. After an offseason of questions, after an offseason of misguided narratives, after a whole offseason of debate on if A.J. Brown will be a Philadelphia Eagle or will he go elsewhere, the Eagles have traded A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots. And it makes me sick to my stomach, because at the end of the day, the Patriots got exactly what they wanted. They lied, they cheated, they got the player that they coveted the most. And the whole time, A.J. Brown did nothing. No fight, no reassurance, no show of loyalty to the fans who loved you, who gave you a chance, and who backed you 100% all the time. After all of it, after the winks, the podcasts, the drop passes, the sideline arguments, the Sedona photos, it's done. It's all done. The A.J. Brown saga in Philadelphia has finally come to a close. He got exactly what he wanted. The heart of the franchise sat heavy. But the Eagles didn't just sit there. They went out and got Dontavian Wicks from Green Bay. With their first pick in the 2026 draft, they took Mekhi Lemon at wide receiver. They've been rebuilding this wide receiver room the whole offseason. This organization does not panic. They move. But here's what I keep coming back to. His yards per separation last year ranked 135th out of 135th per qualified receivers. He was dead last. He was getting his knee drained twice a week just to play the game. Teams had already passed on trading for him because of those very concerns. So now the question is, are the Patriots getting the A.J. Brown who broke the franchise records in Philadelphia? Or are they getting a guy on the back end of his prime with bad knees and worse baggage? That's something New England will just have to find out. And out of all those achievements the Philadelphia Eagles gave him, the records, the rings, the $100 million contract, the stage that built his very name, his favorite football moment still belongs to the New England Patriots. Make of that what you will. Now, let me bring this all the way back where we all started from. Before Philadelphia, no ring, no household name, no $100 million contract, just a very good receiver buried in Tennessee, doing everything right with nothing to show for it nationally. Philadelphia changed every single thing about his career. He came here and broke the franchise receiving record in 1 year, then broke it again in year 2. He set an NFL record that Calvin Johnson couldn't even touch himself. He went to 2 Super Bowls, and he won one. He got a $96 million extension. He became one of the most recognizable wide receivers in the entire sport. His name is in the conversation with the best to ever do it. All of that happened in an Eagles uniform. Without that draft night trade, without Howie Roseman making that move, without Philadelphia betting on him when Tennessee wouldn't, none of that would exist. Not one piece of it. But through all the trials and tribulations, through the ups, the downs, the good times, and the bad, the catches, and the drops. We as an organization have to say, thank you, AJ Brown. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your fire. Thank you for giving us everything that made you you. The city will forever be indebted for the things that you've done for us. And even though right now we're hurt, we're sad, and we're disappointed, we still have love for you. And we hope that someday, when you hang the cleats up for good, that you decide to come back to Philadelphia and let us send you away something proper. But here's the truth about AJ Brown and the Philadelphia Eagles. The city gave him everything. The platform, the quarterback, the system, the contract, the rings, the records, and the legacy. Everything he is as a professional football player, as a household name, was built here in Philadelphia. And somewhere along the line, that relationship broke. Maybe it was the organization running through 5 coordinators in 5 years. Maybe it was the ego getting fed one too many times, without accountability coming back the other way. Maybe it was the Patriots head coach and the NFL reporter running a play in the background the whole damn time. It was probably all 3 of those things. But when it mattered most, when the team needed everyone locked in, AJ Brown wasn't there the way the city needed him to be. He ran to Twitter. Philly fans don't ask for perfect. We ask that you give us everything that you've got every single time. And at the end, it felt like we stopped getting that. I'll always have respect for AJ Brown and what he did in the Eagles uniform. The records are real. The 2022 season was real. The ring that we got together, that's real. But the Philadelphia Eagles gave him that stage. He just forgot where it came from, and then went to New England to prove it. Before Philadelphia, no ring, no household name, and when the moment got hard, he went to Twitter. And when that chapter closed, he went to New England. Drop your take in the comment section. Did Philadelphia fail AJ Brown, or did he fail Philadelphia? Drop it in the comment section and let me know. And remember to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. And once again, I've been Brother Shy, and this has been the Midnight Green Mafia.